Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is Friday, which means it is Free Book Friday. Only today's Free Book Friday has changed a little bit. It is not Free Book Friday, it is Free Series Friday. So here's the story behind that. I do truly set out to read good books to present you guys with on Free Book Fridays, and after last week, when I ripped the free book apart, I was determined to find something good. So I started one book and I quit on page 3 because the main character said something disgusting about another. It's not important. Okay. I just couldn't see myself supporting that protagonist in anything for the rest of a book. So done with that one. Then I read another book and I read the whole thing. I did. And it was terrible. It was awful. So I thought, I can't present another terrible book to you guys on Free Book Friday and expect you to keep liking Free Book Friday. So I kept going through my list of free books. And you know what? This book, the book that I picked, is so outside of my reading comfort zone that I would have never dreamed that I would like it. It is a fairy tale retelling, and it is a 3-book series. The first book is the one that I got for free, and it is called Depravity. It is written by M.J. Hogg, which is a pen name for the adult books that she writes. Her young adult books are written under Melissa Hogg. I'm willing to read books by people I've never heard about, so that's what happened here. I read a book by someone I'd never heard about, and a book that I would never ever have read or picked to read or paid for on my own. I started reading Depravity and was immediately hooked. Immediately. The writing was phenomenal, and it, like I said, it's a fairy tale retelling, and it follows the Beauty and the Beast story very closely. So I can't say it's the best fairy tale retelling that's ever been written because I've never read one. So it is by far the best fairy tale retelling I've ever read. Not only have I not read fairy tale retellings, but I also am not a historical romance fan, or I don't often delve into fantasy storylines, sometimes, but not very often. So there was a lot of reasons that this book, not typically what I would read, but I was hooked. Okay, so like I said, it follows the Beauty and the Beast storyline, and Beauty in this book her name is actually Benella. And poor thing, her name is Benella. But anyways, she is poor, you know. Her father is a teacher, her mother has passed away, and so her father and 2 sisters live in one house. One sister does the cooking, one sister does the sewing, and then Benella, who's not at all domestic or doesn't know her way around a kitchen or the household in general, she goes out and tries to forage and hunt for additional food or for things that she can trade for coin or other merchandise. Benella is like the sweetest soul I've ever read about in fiction, ever. I mean, she's just sweet. She's almost perfect. The way that she reasons, and her compassion, and she just all around has a good nature. And unfortunately, sometimes the better that we are, the more haters we have, and Benella has some haters, and typically, or specifically, they are the blacksmith's family. The blacksmith has 2 sons, and these sons torment Benella. And one of the things that they do, besides beat her, is chase her down and make her run. And she ends up, that's how she first gets exposed to the beast of our story. So they chase her into the beast's estate. And she knows she's not supposed to be there. She knows it's dangerous. And yet, one, two, three times this happens, and she's still being spared by the beast. He's still letting her get away. Eventually, the beast decides, that maybe he'd like her to stick around for a little bit. You know how that goes. So he offers her refuge anytime that she needs it, and then slowly tries convincing her that she should stay. Benella obviously has one purpose in life, and that is to provide for her family, or to, be a good daughter. And so she consistently declines the beast's offers until he has enough, and he actually threatens to kill her father if one of his children don't stay with the beast. And the beast knows how horrible and disgustingly selfish Benella's sisters are, so he knows that Benella will agree to do it. So that's the way that he kind of coerces her agreement out of her. And from that point on, she is at the estate with the beast. This is a 3-book series, and like I said, Depravity, the first book, is the one that I read, the Kindle version that I read for free. Considering that all 3 books follow the Beauty and the Beast storyline, by the end of the first book, we hadn't gotten very far. We'd gotten to the point where Benella was basically stuck, so to speak, at the estate. And it ended on a cliffhanger. It really, truly did. And it ended leaving me wanting more. And I couldn't believe it because, like I said, this is not a book that I thought I would ever be attracted to. I'll cut to the chase here. I spent $3.99 on the second and $3.99 on the third ebooks so that I could finish the entire series. That is how good it was. So my Free Book Friday turned into a $7.98 free series Friday. You guys benefit because one lucky winner is going to receive all 3 books in paperback version, not ebook. Obviously, I could stick with my format and just give away the first book and leave you all to your own devices. However, it's so good, and it ends, you just crave more at the ending. So I can't put anybody through that. I'm just going to give you all 3 books because that's how it happened to me. And honestly, I don't know if I were the writer, if I would have decided to make this a 3-book series. I get it. Every self-published author gets it. Like, it makes you more money. Duh. Because people are okay with spending $2 here, $2 there, but they're not okay with spending $10 at one time. It's psychological marketing, and okay, fine. But typically, the books in this series, they're usually around 200 pages. So this really turns out to be a 600-page series in total. It's pretty quick. I think I started reading it maybe on Tuesday, and here we are Friday. And normally I film my videos ahead of time, but I had such terrible luck finding a Free Book Friday this week that here we are Friday, and I'm scrambling to get everything done. Here's what you need to know about this book. Here are the keys you need to determining whether or not you will like this book. First of all, you have to like fairy tale-esque stories, which means you have to accept fantasy and magic into your fiction in order to be a fan of this. Secondly, this is an adult fairy tale retelling. This is, just because I'm saying fairy tale over and over and over again, please be advised, this is a fairy tale blended with dark romance. Dark romance, historical romance, romantic fantasy, those kinds of elements brushed up against the Beauty and the Beast storyline. So, don't think you're going to be reading this to any young ones before bedtime. I mean, this is for adults only. And hand in hand with that is the adult themes of this book. I bring up dark romance because the Beast is not. I mean, imagine the things that could happen living with an untamed man. Um, he's not violent towards her. However, he does have demands. And considering the time era that this storyline would have taken place, I can't say that the demands are all that scandalous. We look at it now as feminists, like, but in reality, women at one point were property. Women were given to their husbands by their family. Like, that's just what kind of happened back then. And so, that is prevalent in this book. There's no skirting around that. Like, this is historically accurate as far as women being portrayed at times as property. Sometimes in a negative way, other times in this book, not negative. Still property that is highly, highly valued. Benella, or the beauty of this book, does undergo some pretty violent treatment. There is attempted rape, and she is physically abused by other people in her village. She's a trooper, man. She is a trooper. She does her best to stay out of people's way and to not instigate or antagonize anyone. And yet, because she is so pure of heart, people automatically want to bring her down. People want to treat her badly, put her in her place, so to speak, even though she doesn't have an arrogant bone in her body. So if all of that is okay with you, or you like some of the elements that I mentioned, or can at least tolerate them, then I strongly urge you to read this book. I mean, it's super good, and I never ever say that about a lot, but especially something I'm so unfamiliar with. I love to read books that I don't typically read. I don't mind doing that, but the first experience is never phenomenal. I find I'm usually of an, okay, that went all right, I can try that again frame of mind. No, this was really, 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 really good. Super good. Other things about the story is, I touched on it a little bit. Benella has two horribly awful sisters, and it just is a testament to the characterization in this book. The characters who are good are so likable and so wonderfully good. I mean, I wasn't on the fence about any character of this book. They were either amazing or they were an awful, horrific kind of person. There was no in between. The good characters are so easy to love, and the bad characters are so easy to hate. And that was just one of the reasons that I ate this book up like candy. It was crazy. The description was beautiful, and it was creative. There was a creative twist put on a very well-known tale that made it more adult. You got like a little bit of dirty with your fairy tale in order to read this book. The books are Depravity, Deceit, and Devastation by M.J. Hogg. And if you would like to see if the first book is still available for a free download, go ahead and click on the link below. And if you would like to try to be the lucky winner of all three books in this series in paperback form, there is another link below for you to do that as well. This time I have to insist that the contest is only open to US and Canada residents. I apologize to my friends from far, far away, but the cost is going to be a little steeper, and I have to keep a ceiling on how much I spend. Go out and read this book. I mean, even if you don't win it, okay, enter the contest, find out if you win the series. If you don't, buy it anyway, because it's pretty freaking good, and I am so amazed that I enjoyed the experience as much as I did. I don't know if I'll just automatically pick up another fairy tale retelling or not. It's still not part of my comfort zone, and that adds to some of the shock that I have for having adored this so much. So we'll see. I'm definitely open-minded to it after this experience for sure. So if you have already read this series, please leave your thoughts and comments down below. I definitely want to know what you think. Sorry this video is going up a little bit later than usual. Like I said, I had some issues finding y'all a good book. But if you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I try to do this every week. I will continue to try to do the Free Book Fridays every week. I have a great time doing them, and it's awesome to discover something that completely blows you away and surprises you. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. I will see you all soon. I'm talking with my hands a lot today.